mentioned a lot of close guard escapes from the different submissions. We've kind of got all of the really dangerous submissions down. So we've worked on the armbar, the triangle, the kimura, and the omoplata. So, and they're kind of in that order in terms of danger, okay? Like the two most dangerous submissions from the close guard is the armbar and the triangle. Those are the ones you have to worry about the most. The kimura can be dangerous, but it's harder to finish in the close guard. At the very least, you don't see a lot of people finishing the kimura in the closed guard at high level. You see it in other positions. It's a good submission, just not normally in the closed guard. You have to kind of move around the line. You don't have as good a control over his head as you probably would in other positions. The omoplata is dead last. I'm not saying you can't finish people with the omoplata, but it very rarely happens in no-gi. Omoplata is more of a sweep in no-gi than it is an actual submission. So I'm not saying you don't have to worry about it. You have to know your escape, but it's the one you're going to have the easiest time getting out of. So having said that, now I wanted to go over to what are some of the more standard sweeps that people are going to do in the closed guard and how you defend against that. And first of all, close guard. Our general position is going to basically be here. This is where I kind of want to be because I've neutralized 90% of his attacks if I'm like this. If I go into this position, I'm safe from 90%. He can't really triangle me from here. He can try to kimura me, but it's a very long path and my arms are covered. Yeah, it's actually really hard. The easiest attack he has from here is to do the sweep, the hip bump sweep where you come up and I can use that. Okay, so those are a couple of things to keep in mind here. Just this is sort of not our safe space, but this is kind of like where we want to come when we escape something. If we haven't gotten his legs open and we're just trying to make sure we've neutralized the threat, we're trying to come back to here. Okay, so I want to take this in terms of the most dangerous sweeps in terms of he doesn't have to open his closed guard to get them, and then we move from there. So the first sweep, and let's actually start with just drilling the sweep because it's a little more complicated. And again, if someone's doing a shitty sweep, we don't have to worry about defending it that much. So it's called a flower sweep. It's dangerous because I can do the setup without opening my legs. Okay, that's the main danger of the flower sweep. A lot of other sweeps, if I do the hip bump, I have to open my legs, and if he can block me, he can actually use that to get out. So, okay, so that's the danger of the hip bump sweep. The danger of the scissor sweep is the same sort of thing. I have to open my legs, and now if he can pin that leg, he can start passing my guard. Okay, I don't have that danger when I'm in the flower sweep. Okay, the flower sweep, I start with a cross grip, and for the flower sweep, I like to grab over the arm, not like this. Because I just feel like I'm going to grip like this. Pull him in, pull the legs in, and grab under the armpit. Okay? And this is the danger, because now I've got him in a compromised position, and I still have my close guard. Now, this hand goes under, I don't want to armbar by accident, goes under this leg. Okay? And once I have this, now I can fairly safely open my guard, try to stand up. Okay, yeah, and I've still got a good grip and it's really hard for him to stand up. And for the sweep, now I want to take this leg and I'm going to bring my body 90 degrees to his. And here's the other danger, is I sweep him directly into mount. So one motion, I have 6 points. 6 points is a lot. Okay? If you have a 6 point advantage, you've probably won that fight. Okay? So 6 points is really hard to make up. He would essentially have to either pass my guard and get a mount or a back control in order to get back ahead. Okay? That's how much 6 points is. And that's a lot of work, which if I have him in the mount, he first has to escape my guard. Then he has to sweep me. Then he's got to pass me. That's a lot of work. And even then, he still hasn't gotten more points than me because he still only has 5 points there. So he then has to mount or back control, and then he has gotten more points than me, and that's a lot of work. Okay, so going back to the flower sweep, okay? So, like I said, we take a grip like this, okay? And I'm not just pulling his upper arm, okay? I'm pulling him in with my knees. And I'm bringing his arm way across, and I'm grabbing in to the armpit. And I'm grabbing with all fingers, but the one I'm feeling it the most in is this finger. Forgive the gesture, but it's this finger. This is the important finger. That's the finger that I'm really feeling the dig into his armpit. And that's how I get a nice good grip there. Okay? Then this hand comes under the thigh, and I've got him in this trap. Now I can open the legs, go 90 degrees, and just roll him over. And the cool thing is I've got this nice elbow pin. I can even from here go to a gift wrap and take his back. Now I have another 4 points. I've got 10 points now. If your opponent gets 10 points on you, you're fucked. Sorry. Okay? So, clear what I want to see. We're just going to practice this for a bit, and then we're going to start going over countermeasures to when someone starts attacking this sweep. Alright? Okay, so let's do this so that everyone works with me. That was the flower sweep. Now we're going to start with our defense. Okay? And honestly, I, at the very least, have not seen a very effective reversal to the flower sweep so that I come out on top. So the flower sweep is a prime example of where my goal is to get back to my neutral position. Okay? So that's generally speaking my goal. So when he goes for his flower, Okay? So he comes here, and I need to act here. Okay? I've got my hand here. What I need to do is come up on this foot. Okay? Now if he tries to flower sweep me, I have a post. No, even if you get your arm in, try to sweep. I have a post now. Okay, so now the sweep's neutralized, and more importantly, now I've got space with my arm. If he holds as tight as he can, I can get my arm back out. Okay? So, and I'm going to do exactly that. Bring the elbow out, hand out, bring that hand on his armpit, shove out, and I come back to neutral. Okay? So, going through that again. So, he comes in. I have one post here. I come up and I step. Now I have a post. Now he's not sweeping me in that direction as hard as he can try as hard as he wants. Unless he weighs 5 times my size, he's not getting me swept. So now, elbow out, hand on the armpit, jump, and come back to neutral. Okay? So that's how we're going to defend that sweep. This is, as far as I've been able to, in personal experience, that's been the easiest way to defend the flower sweep. I don't want to say easiest, that's been the most effective way to defend the flower sweep, is to just block a sweep. Because again, the problem is he's got his close guard locked until the very last minute. So any reversal I try to do is most likely going to get me swept, or it's going to actually get me swept into mount, which is an even worse position than I was in before. So my goal right now is to return to neutral and to go from there. Okay? So, clear what I want? Alright, so let's start with that then, and then we'll go to the next technique. So, we've just 1 or 2 extra points regarding the last defense. Just because I said it when we were drilling it, but I just wanted it on video as well. Because this defense works for 2 different situations. Obviously, it works for if I go for the flower sweep, but also if I'm here and if I try to go for the back take now, yeah, this also is blocking me because he's got me pushed on my side. This is keeping me from being able to go to his back. Let me just, if I'm here, raise your foot. This post also keeps me from going to his back. Okay, I'm not getting his back here either. Okay, and I said it to everyone when we were drilling, I just went it on video as well. The last thing you do is to put this leg down. Okay, you want this post, actually let's go to the other side so it's on camera. You want this post up as long as possible because that's what's keeping me from going to your back and from sweeping you. There were a couple of thoughts of, well, can I just come in here? Yes, you can, and that's actually good for the person trying to defend guard, okay? There is technically a leg lock entry from here, but it's actually, in the position we're in, it's actually very hard to execute. So if he's like, let's say he's freed up his arm and everything, and he's out, and I come in here, all he has to do is bring his knee to the ground, and now he's pinned my arm. And this is actually shit for me, because now I have only one arm, and yeah, he only has one thing he needs to worry about in order to start his close guard escapes. This is actually really bad for me. There is the possibility to even get an armbar on this arm. It's not a very good armbar. It works on the element of surprise and nothing else. It's not something I would recommend trying to do, but it's technically a possibility. Yeah, he can come in and start trying to armbar me. So this is actually really bad for me. There is a leg lock entry from here. I'm just showing it real quick. No. But the difference is I'm not in the close guard. I'm in the triangle. He postures up, and that's what gives me the space for this entry. If we're just doing the close guard escapes and I've got his armpit, upper body pinned, I actually don't have enough room to move into that inversion that I need to make the leg lock work. Okay? So, that's just something I wanted to say about that. And going away from the most dangerous sweep in close guard, the flower sweep, we're going to start going to the sweeps that, if I have my choice, I'm hoping the opponent's doing one of these. Okay? So first is the scissor sweep. Okay? So, again, the downside for the scissor sweep for me is I now have to open my legs. Okay? First, I'm obviously going to break it down. I like to come here. Now I open my legs. I want my knee here, my shin across his body. And this foot comes in here, shove the leg down. I can still come up in the full mount as well after this. It's not a bad sweep. It's just less dangerous because now I have to start opening my guard to sweep him, and that makes different problems for me because if he's able to counter my sweep, I've got the closed guard open, he can immediately start passing. So if I miss one of these sweeps, there's a pretty good chance I'm getting passed right afterwards. Okay? So, showing it one more time, it's a fairly simple day one white belt sweep. It also is more common in the gi, I think, than in no-gi. It still happens in no-gi, just not as often. I see people try it. Essentially, you want to isolate the arm. You can also grab up, but the main thing is I want this arm come into this position here, put the foot on his knee, shove the knee away, and kick him over. Okay? Pretty easy sweep. Okay, we'll drill that a bit and then we'll do some sparring.